Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and today I wanted to talk about Black Ops 3. It feels like every year one of these games comes out, the first reaction of a lot of gamers is that this is the best Call of Duty ever. A few weeks go by, they realize that it has some core issues, and then they start to hate on the game. And so I want to avoid that mentality completely. I wanted to go over my experiences so far, what I've liked and enjoyed about it, but also go into detail on some pretty serious issues. And so the first thing that I think is worth mentioning is that there is an insane amount of content here. When you compare it to other games that are coming out, like Star Wars Battlefront or Rainbow Six Siege, which is also going to be in that $60 price range and focus more on the multiplayer components, it's hard to argue that Treyarch is not delivering a lot of content to their Call of Duty fans. Not only does it have the single player, multiplayer, zombies, and free running, but apparently they're going to be bringing mod support to PC. That blew me away. That potentially brings in an infinite amount of new content, and I could not be happier about that. And so I really have to give it to Treyarch for apparently being very busy over these last couple of years and just bringing a wide variety of things to enjoy with this new game. That said though, enjoying this content, especially on the PC version, can be a little tricky. This has to be my biggest critique of Black Ops 3 because it does not seem to be well optimized at all on the PC version. I tried for a good couple of hours to make this thing even run on my computer. It was lagging, stuttering, I was getting massive frame drops, and everything I did refused to improve the situation. I have a pretty good computer. I have a 980 graphics card, a solid i7 processor, I have plenty of RAM. Anything that this new Call of Duty game that throws at me, I should be able to destroy with this computer, even at high settings. And so the fact that I could not get it to work for a couple of hours was incredibly frustrating. Eventually, I got fed up and went online to see if anyone else had some suggestions. They recommended that I update my drivers, they recommended that I play it in full screen and then have a bunch of different settings, and then when I did all of those things, it magically worked. This shouldn't happen, Treyarch. I realized that you had a development team that was working on the PC version, and I have to wonder, what were they doing? Like, this should not be a thing. I should not need to spend hours upon hours just to make my game run properly on my computer, and especially a computer that does well with every other game out there on the market. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And while I know that Treyarch has said that they're working on a patch, they're trying to improve things for people's CPUs, it's still the biggest drawback, at least for the PC version. When you do get everything up and running though, and things are finally running smoothly, the game's a hell of a lot of fun. I am really enjoying Black Ops 3, and I think one of the things I'm enjoying most is the map design. I have noticed that a lot of the maps feel very similar. The way that Treyarch has designed most of them is that there is a central middle lane and then a left and a right lane. There are some different flanking routes and alleys in between them, but for the most part, that is the way that they design most of their maps. For some people, this may seem as a criticism, because if you play on one, you feel like you've played on most of them, but in my opinion, it's actually a good thing. One of my biggest critiques about past Call of Duty games is that they are very chaotic. You have no idea where the enemy's going to be coming from. There's a lot of flanking routes, you're getting shot from the left, the right, from behind, and it never feels like you're getting shot directly in front of you. And so what I like about this 3-lane design, which they've established on most of their maps, is that if you're on the left lane, for example, you really only have to focus on what is in front of you or to the right. It makes things more manageable. And while my opinion on this might change, because this is my first impressions, I've only put about 8 to 10 hours into the game right now, so far, I am liking the map design. I've had some fantastic moments, I've had some awesome gameplay, and I really think it is attributed to the way that they've balanced everything out. The one thing that I'm not exactly sure on yet, though, and what I was kind of hesitant to talk about, are weapons themselves. This is something that really does need to take tens upon tens of hours to really get a good grasp if the game is well balanced. Weapon diversity and weapon balance is a key component of every first-person shooter, and right now it's kinda hard to tell if that is the case. I will say that pretty much every weapon that I pick up, it feels viable. There are some exceptions, there are some that I'm not really too thrilled by, but if I pick up a gun and I know how to use it appropriately, I mean, I'm not gonna use an SMG at long range. If I use it up close, how it it's supposed to be, I'm gonna have a good time and be somewhat successful. And while once again, it is way too early to tell if the weapon balance is going to be amazing. Like, I'm assuming they're gonna have to go in and patch things along the way, but at least right now, I'm happy with the way that the weapons perform. There's a wide diversity, none of them feel exactly the same, and they all have their unique gameplay. One thing that I am a little disappointed by, though, is that they kept in the flinching mechanic for PC. I understand that this isn't a problem on console because you do have the auto aim, and that's going to keep you on target even if you are flinching, but on PC, because we don't have auto aim, it just ruins your accuracy and it gives a massive advantage for the person who shoots first or lands that first shot. There have been a lot of firefights where I knew that if I was playing another game like Battlefield or really anything that didn't have a flinching mechanic, that I would probably win these firefights. But because the enemy shot first, they saw me first, and they started the engagement, even if their overall accuracy was worse than mine, because I'm flinching everywhere, I don't land a single bullet and they're able to take me out. It's very frustrating when that happens. And while I might be the minority here, maybe everyone on PC completely disagrees with me, but this just does not seem like a good mechanic for the PC version. And so, while I don't think that they're probably going to eliminate it, at least tone it down, I think would be a great step in the right direction. One thing that I am glad to say, though, is that it looks like they have made significant improvements to their mouse supports. This was a big problem during the beta. In the beta, your mouse felt smooth, it was floaty, it was hard to get that precision that you would expect in a fast-paced first-person shooter, and it seems like they have resolved a majority of those problems. The only time where I was a little suspicious that they didn't resolve all of them is when I did have that massive stuttering for those first couple of hours. There were times when my frame just tanked, and I wasn't sure if it felt like my mouse sensitivity started to change because of the frame rate dropping, or if it was just because I was lagging in general. And so I'm crossing my fingers that they have resolved the majority of the problems, because as soon as I lock my frames per second at 60, or even if I bring it all the way up to like 140, when it is running smoothly, I have no problems with controlling my mouse and having that precision that I would expect in any other first-person shooter. And so while nothing is definitive right now, I am happy to say that at least for the most part, I haven't noticed those serious problems. But overall, while there are some serious technical issues on the PC side of things, I'm having a lot of fun with Black Ops 3. If you're on the fence right now of buying it, especially for PC, I would say hold off and wait. Who knows if they're going to be able to resolve all of these problems? I mean, I'm sure that they will, because it looks like Treyarch is trying to turn over a new leaf for their PC crowd. This is probably the reason why we're getting mod support, but they may at the end of the day be like, all right, we're moving on to the next project, we're not going to be updating the game anymore, and these are really serious issues may never be addressed. It's too early to tell. And so while I am having a lot of fun, I can't really recommend this, at least for the PC community. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's first impressions. I hope you enjoyed. Give me your thoughts on the game. Are you enjoying it? Is it not really to your liking? Let me know down below. But yep, until tomorrow, have a good one, and take it easy.